You hear a new whirring hum while your EV charges. But is that normal, harmless, or a dead giveaway of a failing part? Listen closely because that hum is trying to tell you something. The onboard charger quietly converts AC from the wall into the DC your battery wants. But sometimes it sings a whine, buzz, or rattling hum. Most of the time, it's just magnets and fans doing their job, but sometimes the sound points to a loose coil, a stressed capacitor, or a contactor that's about to fail. In this video, we'll follow the sound from the plug into the diagnostics. What creates common charger noises, how to figure out which one you're hearing, and what to do next. Fast, practical steps so you don't pay for a bigger repair later. Hello everyone, I'm Shayan, an engineer specialized in electric vehicle development. Electric chargers are full of parts that can make noise. Fans, contactors, inductors, coils, capacitors, relays, and coolant pumps that keep the pack and power electronics happy. Most noises fall into three families: mechanical, like fans, pumps; loose panels; electromagnetic, like coil whine from inductors and transformers; and failing component noises like capacitors, squeal, or arcing at the contactors. Each has a different character: low steady hum, high-pitched whistle, or irregular rattle, and a different meaning. But the trick is learning which is which so you don't panic over normal sounds or miss a real fault. Why coils and inductors whine? Switch mode power supplies inside the onboard charger switch electrical current at high speed and push it through capacitors, inductors, and transformers. Those magnetic components feel changing forces and can physically vibrate, creating a high-frequency whine that you can hear. This is called coil whine or acoustic noise, and it's a normal physical reaction to the magnetic fields and switching frequencies. But it gets louder if windings are loose, if mounting is poor, or if the part is being driven harder than the intended. Manufacturers and component makers document this exact effect and offer damping and design fixes. But in the field, it shows up as that thin, sometimes squeaky pitch while charging. Capacitor squeal, and why it's scarier. Capacitor squeal sounds different, often a sharp whistle or a chirp, and can be an early sign of a failing component. Electrolytic capacitors under stress can develop internal gas pockets or dielectric movement that produce audible noise before the part visibly bulges or leaks. If you hear a distinct, intermittent squeal and the charger also runs hot, that's one to log and get checked. It's not a cute quirk. It can precede failure. Online repair forums and hardware diagnosis threads flag capacitors squeal as a recurring warning sign. Fans, pumps, and contactors, mechanical but meaningful. A low, steady hum is often cooling fans or coolant pumps doing their job while the charger runs. That's expected. Heavy charging generates heat and components speeding up to keep the temperature safe. But grinding, scraping, or sudden changes in fan pitch can mean a failing bearing or debris. Contactors and relays click when they operate, but if you hear a buzzing contactor, a vibratory hum when it should be solid, that might be a poor contact or debris preventing full seating. That buzzing is a safety issue because arcing at a contactor damages contacts fast. Schneider Electric and EVSE maintenance documents explicitly call out contactor vibration as a common humming cause and a maintenance item. Inverter and drivetrain coupling. Sometimes it's not the charger. Not every charging period sound is from the onboard charger. The inverter that runs the motor itself, or gearbox components can produce noise during certain states while the car is plugged in. For example, when preconditioning or active cooling runs. Research into inverter NVH shows that switching patterns and mechanical coupling creates audible vibration that can be mistaken for charger noise. So if the hum changes with drive mode, it may be the drive electronics rather than the charger. You might think if it's loud, it's broken, but that's not always true. Many audible effects are benign but annoying. Coil whine at low loads is common, but the flip side is worse. Some harmless sounding whines mask early failures that become expensive if ignored. So the real challenge is correctly distinguishing ordinary compressor fan coils noise from the early whispers of the failing part. Do nothing and you may pay later. Overreact and you'll waste time and service appointments. The goal is fast triage, know what to monitor and what to act on. How to diagnose? A simple workflow you can do today. Start smart. Note when the sound happens, what it sounds like, and whether anything else happens at the same time, like charging rate drop, heat, error messages. Then run these checks in order. Is the sound synchronous with fan or pump operations? Fans and pumps often ramp with charger load. If the hump correlates with the higher charge current, it's likely cooling. But check for grinding or abrupt changes. Those need service. Is it a steady high-pitched whistle at a high current? That's probably coil whine from inductors or the transformer. It's often harmless but louder if the component's mounting is loose. Is it an odd shrike or trip and coming from the OBC board area? That could be capacitor squeal. Document it and get an inspection. Is there a buzzing click from the contactor area? Contactors that vibrate indicate poor contact and can arc. Stop using that charger and schedule service. Log the event. Record a short video or audio on your phone showing the sound and the car's dash messages. That helps dealers and service technicians diagnose faster. Repeatable recordings are gold for troubleshootings. There aren't universal decibel thresholds for safe charger noise because small enclosed components can be loud. Small enclosed components can be loud in a quiet garage but still within spec. However, certain symptoms correlate with real risks. Heat plus new high-pitched squeal, visible swelling or leakage on the capacitors, or intermittent charging interruptions paired with a buzzing sound. Those are red flags, not just annoying noises. Component vendors and power electronic guides document acoustic phenomena but paired with failure modes that deserve immediate service. Migration and fixes, practical, not technical surgery. If the sound is coil whine and the charger still works with a stable charging rate and no heat, you can accept it or ask for the dealer to check the hardware. Sometimes tightening a bracket or adding damping solves it. For fans and pumps, a cleaning or bearing replacement usually fixes the problem. For contactor buzzing or capacitor squeal, stop using the charger and schedule service. Those are safety risks. Component vendors suggest putting, damping materials, and tighter assembly tolerances as the design fixes. But in the field, your options are inspection, cleaning, or replacing the affected module. A real case, what a small hump signaled in the field. A common pattern from the service logs. A driver reports a new whine while charging. The technician finds a slightly vibrating contactor that arced intermittently, which had started to eat contact surface. Left alone, the contact worsens and caused a high temperature event that required a module replacement. The earlier that buzzing was logged and addressed, the cheaper the fix. That's the crucial point. Noise can be an early, low-cost signal. Document it, act on it, and you can avoid a costly repair later. Onboard charger noise is rarely just mystery. It's an actionable signal. Use this quick checklist. Record the sound and note conditions like state of charge, ambient temperatures, charging current. Check for correlated symptoms like heat, charge interruptions, dashboard errors. Try a different charger to isolate whether the EV or the station is the source. If it's a high-pitched chirp or buzzing contactor, schedule service. Don't ignore it. If it's fan or pump related and steady, monitor if it gets worse. Gets bearing or filters checked. Be proactive. Your ears are a cheap diagnostic tool. Use them. But balance caution with the practicality. Some whines are normal, some are warnings. Knowing the difference saves time and money. If you want, I've made a printable one-page sound triage guide you can keep in your glove box. Record the noise, run the checks, and know when to push for the warranty repair. You can download it by clicking on the link in the description. Thank you.